go ahead and WordPress if we're in the site. So to give you a little bit of sneak peek of what we're doing. So what we have here is we're just doing some basic stuff right now. So we have a special event, we have the list, we have this post, and a whole bunch of stuff that's going to be set up right now. One thing you want to consider, and we'll see this on for you. So what you may want to do and what you may want to consider here is instead of having this be guest of honor, you may want to actually have this as a block of information. So what we can do is we can go ahead and actually build that out. So what I did here on our custom plugin is I went ahead and added on another function. So the function we have over here converts the event hosts into a string with a bunch of links in it. What we have here is going to turn it into an array of information. So what we are going to do is go ahead and refine that. And also pop out a chat window. Just realize that we have this one. There we go. Can't hear me? Hold on. Is the music too loud? Okay, slow the music. Got it. Alright, we are trying to lower this baby down. Go ahead here. Yeah, we'll do about. Let's do about 4. Alright. Can you hear me now? Lower it a bit more. Got it. I'm still learning this stuff, so let me go ahead and just put this to about 25. Is this better? Oh, increase my mic. Got it. I'm new to this, by the way. I'm used to just coding like a big geek. Ah, that's why. Alright. Can you hear me now? Ah, you look like a pro for me. Got it. Alright, I think perfect. Alright. I'm gonna have to remember to save those audio settings. So you're all learning with me on this. So to go back over here, what we've been doing is working on an event game website. And so what we have here is we have schedules, we have event hosts and guest of honor and all that fun stuff. Now what we have here is for the guest of honor. We have this currently as a link. Now the question we have is, what if we wanted to create this as a block on the bottom? Like for instance, if we have 3 or 4 guests of honor, instead of having them all comment out, we go through and have all their fun information on the bottom of here. So what we did is we have over here, we have the convention events render event hosts, and now we have convention events get hosts is the function that I just created. Hello, how are you doing this afternoon, Alex Booker? Alright, so what we're going to do, and if you're curious of what this looks like on the post or on your post page, what I will do is just debug this. So actually let's get rid of this and do our, let's see here, post data. And then for post ID, we'll just do post and ID. And then we're gonna do var dump so you can see what this looks like. So now we go ahead and we save this. If you're not familiar with this layout over here, this is Code Anywhere. It is a cloud-based development environment. I like it because I can take my sandbox wherever I go, and if I'm on a different computer, I just log in and I can continue to work on my stuff. So it is great, especially for those of you who are constantly on the go. It helps me because I can actually work on my code during my lunch break at work. So off on that, let's go ahead and take a look here and see what gets generated if I did the variable dump. So as you can see here, yeah, and it's actually pretty cheap, $7 a month to have your own site that can hook in FTP wise, and also you can make your own your own little containers. Is actually pretty cool. So we can see here, we have this little WordPress object that we just generated. So what we can do is take a look here. Now the question is on here, we got everything's limitations on this. I think I've not actually dealt with any limitations here. It's actually pretty neat on what you can do, because you can even build your own sandbox site. So you can say, I want to work with WordPress in a LAMP stack, and it will take a minute and generate it for you and give you a bunch of links for being able to simulate actually having server access. So that's one of the things I like about this tool, is how this works overall. So let me just refresh my memory. What exactly did I set up? So we got hosts, we have this taken care of. Now what I'm going to do here is we can always go through, and I would error check this because you never know if a user, meaning your administrative user, left a event without a host. So what you would want to do is if empty host data, this is an array, and then what you would do is for each host is hosts. And then what I would do here is, I think that, let's see here. Now this is how you can go through and test to see if this works. So we're actually going through and debugging as we go. We're going to go ahead and test this baby out. So basically we're debugging as we go to see how exactly does everything work. So it is going through and pushing out everything, which is kind of interesting. So should get rid of that. And what we are going to do is for each host data as host, then what we want to do is find the header image on here. Now I have to remember what exactly I named the header image on our host people. Profile photo, duh. Okay, so what we are going to do is just get that for each. So actually we already got image equals, and then we are going to go get field. I'm actually from Minnesota, born and raised in Wisconsin, so it's kind of a mishmash of different accents in this area. I also did a lot of telephone work with people across the country, so my accent kind of bleeds over a lot of different things. Alright, and where are you from? your accent bleeds over on a lot of different subgroups. Alright, so what's going on here? From England, you sound American. Alright, so something is going on here that this is not generating exactly what I want it to do. So something is happening. So what I am going to do is actually bar dump from here. And to take a look. Making a murderer, oh boy. You know, I have never seen that show. People keep telling me to go in and watch it, but I've yet to actually see it. Okay. Oh, it looks like this isn't actually a single object. It's not a array. Living in Wisconsin, you know, I've moved out of Wisconsin about 12 years. Yeah, about 14 years ago. So I really am not familiar with how people are reacting to that show. Okay, so this is actually an object. I just realized this. So what we are going to do, just to double check, is this an object? Yep, originally, yeah. Married, moved over to Minnesota, so went across the state and went across the state lines. You would not recommend it. Okay, well, thanks for the heads up on that one. Alright, so to double check if this is an object, this should potentially have a post ID. So what we'll do is save that. And we'll get rid of this. And cross our fingers if I got this to work. If I go back over here. Alright, so let's take a look here. I'm going to debug this back on my original project that I went and set this up on. Let's take a look here. And we'll go back to content. Bear with me on this. I'm actually copying over everything I did from an old project, making it more open source, which is why things are a little weird. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at what I did before. It's getting pretty late. Alright, yeah, go ahead and take a look at my streams later on when you have time. Okay, so let me take a look at what I did previously. And get hosts. Those are admin form functions. Let's take a look here. I'm guessing it is over here somewhere is what I did. That's custom values. Render event hosts, get event hosts. There we go. So what I'm going to do is find out how exactly I used this in my other project. Ah, okay. Sometimes if you take a few months since you last worked on something, you can forget and it becomes a pain in the butt. So we're going to go ahead and switch back to my other project. And we'll go back over here. And convention content type. Here we go. Keep that open, and we're going to go back to my single event page. Alright, so we're doing host data. And we're just going to go ahead and get rid of that. And so what that's going to do, I'm going to fix the function name because I'm making it for this one, for this project. So I gave it a completely different name. Alright, there we go. Well, we have that. So what we are doing here is we are checking for posts that for the host of the event. And what ends up happening is if there are posts, and then what we are going to do is set this up. We'll get rid of this. That was a message from one of my friends who's talking about the live action role-playing game I'm going to be going to in a bit. So we're going to do a little bit here and then wrap it up because I have people who want to actually geek out with me in a while. So what this is going to do here is we're going to fetch all the different posts that are all the different event hosts that are linked to this event. Now, what ends up happening is if there's only one, then what we are going to do is only do the one link. Now, what ends up happening here is while this goes on, what we are going to do is get this part taken care of. And in theory, this should render something. And I broke my site. Okay, so PHP. That's how I broke it. There we go. And it's still broken. So don't mind me while I figure out what exactly I did here. We'll go through and do some mild debugging. If post data has posts, that's probably what did it. So if we go through here and then got that set up, then we can go back and we have the encapsulated while statement and where statement. And now let's try this again. Now that we have an extra end bracket. So this is going through and grabbing the post data for your event host. Now what we can do here is start actually rendering this out. So what we can do is set this up. Now what we'll want to take care of is we'll get the host image. And field group, we had that as profile photo. What we can do is copy over my stuff here and just do host image. Alright, so we got that, and then host title. And since with host, we'll just switch from post to host. And what we are going to do here is h4 php echo host name. So we have that taken care of, and in theory this should now get this set up. So we have the host here, guest of honor. So now that we know that this worked, what you can actually do here, and what I wanted to do, is set this up for a little bit later. So what we are going to do is find where this starts. Got it. So we're going to go back here. We have this. We have the little thing for the content for our blog post. And then what we are going to do here is now we're going to go ahead and get that all set up for you. So now we're going to go here, and now we have this set up where add host data. I love commenting here, just so I know later on when I run this to next week that I know where we're at. Alright, so we have this. I'm sure there's a reason I did that last time. We'll figure that out later on. Okay. So while this, we have everything handled. Title. Let's make sure I have all these statements taken care of. Now here is what we can do what we can do in order to help group this up a little bit later. So what I'm going to do is just create a div that we can then use for style wrapping later on. So we'll do here. Just so that I know that this is all handled. Indenting so I can keep visually track of everything. And now what we can do is go back over to special event. And as you can see, that did not fully work as expected, so we'll go back over to what exactly did I do wrong. So we got that, the output event date set up right. Something happened with the guest of honor. Let's see if that did it. that did it. So we got our guest of honor here. And so this is how you can go about, and let's say we wanted to have multiple event hosts. So we can go back over here. We're going to edit this baby. And we're going to add a second event host. Now we're going to go back over here for special events. And as you can see here, we have our first person and our second person here. So we can do a little bit of theming later on in order to clean this up, potentially have it where you have everything wrapped in one div for the first event host and then have it in the next one for the second event host. So those are some things that we can take a look at a little bit later. But that's it for now. So stay tuned. I do have a live cast scheduled for 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. Where we'll be able to go into this a bit more in detail. I just wanted to sneak on a little bit and run something really quick, which is how to go through and attach the event hosts here instead of just as a name, actually build out blocks with their content. So we'll be able to move forward. Next time we'll go into actually building out the event host page a bit more, and then we'll be able to finally get everything rendered and start working on theming here. So again, thank you everyone for showing up here. My information is on the page, so if you want to like me, follow me, check out my Patreon, go ahead. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. Looking forward to talking with you either tomorrow afternoon or later than that. So with that, have a great day.